I still feel like because we're not leaving the house very much, I've got my Christmas socks on and my warm sweater, but we'll see how much we get moving today. Feel free to just settle your bum in the chair. Roll your feet a few times back and forth on the floor. And it's just like you're, I don't know, feeling the different corners of your feet. Picking up the toes and pulling them back towards you. Wiggling them. And then pressing them down into the floor as if you could separate each toe from the one beside it. Imagine you could play the piano with your toes and press the pinky down and then the next one and go up towards the big toe. And then lift them and press the big toe down and move back towards the pinky toe. It keeps you settled in your chair. My internet said it was unstable. I hope it's back for you now. Just feel that long, slow breath. Imagine that you are drawing your breath in right to that heart center, that you fill your lungs with air, and those lungs, like big balloons, just sort of blow up around your heart, squeezing and massaging, hugging in around that heart. And then as you exhale, those big balloons of your lungs empty, and the heart feels like it has lots of room again. So every breath, it's almost like it does a squeeze and a release around your heart. Squeeze and a release. Just feel that action happening as you fill your lungs and release them. Perhaps your eyes close, perhaps your hands land on your lap. Let the inhale just be a little bit longer than usual. Let your exhale be long and slow and drawn out. As if we're just stretching the edges of our breath just a little bit, expanding that balloon just a tiny bit more than our normal breath would do. Nice. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them down your back body. Allow your hands to sort of stretch out in front of you and clasp your fingers together. Nice. You'll take a nice big inhale. Exhale, turn your palms and just push them out. Inhale, lift the hands toward the ceiling as far as they want to go. Exhale, bring the arms down beside you. Inhale, interlock your hands. Exhale, sweep them forward. Inhale, hands come up to sky. Exhale, arms come down. Inhale, clasp fingers. Elbows bent, push the palms forward. Big breath in. Nice exhale down. Breathing in, clasp fingers. Good. So this time as you push your palms forward, just drop your chin and arch your back. Inhale, stretch the spine nice and tall. Exhale, pull the arms behind you even. Inhale, clasp your hands. As you exhale, arch and roar round the spine. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, arms come down. Good. Clasp, roll the back. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands down. Good. We're going to go opposite. Hands come all the way up to the ceiling. They clasp, push the hands out, roll the palms back to center, drop them down. Inhale up, hands clasp, press the palms forward, arch your back. Move the hands back to prayer, settle them down. Inhale up, clasp the hands, push the palms forward, arch the back. Inhale, hands to namaste. Exhale, let them rest. Good. Drop those hands down. Roll the shoulders back. Just feel like the juicy movement happening in those shoulder rolls. Other way. Nice work. Yeah. And then bring the hands as if you had like dumbbells in them, and keep the elbows soft to the ribs. Keep the shoulders rolled down the back. Breathe in as the hands come up, breathe out as they open. You can curl the fingers into the fist as if you're holding those dumbbells as hands come up, and then open them wide as they go down. Curl them up, open them wide. Big breath in, big breath out. Yeah. Nice. Hands come up. Nice. Now arms go out to the side and come back together. So you press the palms out, bring them back together. Press the palms out. Find your breath here. Where's the inhale and the exhale? And the inhale and the exhale. I'm finding that I feel like I'm reaching higher, sitting taller as I push out, and then setting back into the sit bones a little bit as my palms come back together. Yeah. Nice. Let's leave that. Hands come down. Left hand finds the side of your chair, or whichever one feels like it's mirroring. Opposite arm lifts up. Let's lean sideways and come back. Lean and come back. So your hand can rest shoulder, head, or sky, whatever feels okay for you today. See if you can keep that both sit bones connected to your chair. So as you lean over to the side, it feels like the rib cage is gently lifting up and out of the hips. Yeah. Good work. Yeah, nice work. And that hand can just sweep all the way up and over. We'll go to the other side. Remember, if there's any tension, you can come higher. You're just thinking of opening the side body, allowing nice big side stretches, feeling how one rib sort of separates gently from the one below it, creating space in the rib cage, putting a little bit of range of motion, breaking up the tightness that sits in those muscles. Breathing. Find your inhale and your exhale as you move here. And let yourself come all the way down. Good. So if you were to do backstroke in a swimming pool, thinking about Paulette's talking about the lymph pooling, we're going to get some movement happening in the neck and in through the armpits here today. So think of the pinky finger going up and rolling back, and then do the other arm as if you're doing the backstroke. And remember, if the shoulders don't want to go up this high, that these movements can be here too. It's all good. You just take the movement that feels best, as high up as it wants to go, as low down as it wants to go. Yeah. Spinal twists are another thing really good for getting lymph moving. Every time we do, roll those shoulders now. Do three shoulder rolls forward, 2, 3. Good. That almost feels like breaststroke, okay? Pulling the elbows back. Reach your palms forward and then pull them back. Big round opening. Reach the hands as far forward as they'll come and then pull back. Reach and pull back. Reach and pull back. Reach and pull back. You can guess that we're going to do breath or front crawl next. So that right hand goes back behind you, pulls as far forward as it can, and then pulls back. Far forward, pulls back. Yeah. Make sure that you're still breathing. Yeah. That armpit is a hub of congestion in our body. Just think of a whole bunch of cables that have to come from the heart and go down in through this tight corner down into the fingertips. So anytime we feel like we have that excess juiciness or tingling and stuff in the fingers, just get your armpits and shoulders moving nicely so that we clear the congestion that builds up through those shoulders. Let's take hands now. So if your arms are tired from all that, you're going to do this work, backs of your palms resting here, okay? Thumb to pinky. If you want to work differently today, you can take and do thumb to pinky way out here. Thumb to ring finger, middle, index. Breathe. Big inhale, big exhale as you move through the fingertips. Remember, you can drop the hands. Keep the shoulders relaxed down the back body. Let the head float on the top of the spine. Going back from pinky to index finger. Fingers spreading wide between each touch. Yeah. I have no idea why I'm floating side to side here. Nice. And then relax. Yeah, you can feel the movement of breath, the movement of blood in through the arms. Nice. So drop your chin now to your chest. It's almost like you're going to squeeze it as close as it will come. Lift the head back up to tall center. Drop right ear to right shoulder. Inhale up to center. Left ear to left shoulder. Inhale up to center, drop chin to chest. All the way back up again. Right ear to right shoulder, and then slide the chin down towards the shoulder. Open the chin back to normal. Slide the chin up to the ceiling. Back to neutral. Head comes back to center. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin drops. Back to neutral. Chin lifts. Back to neutral. Head floats up. Nice work. If there were a pencil lead on the tip of your nose, draw a spiral on an imaginary piece of paper in front of you. Slowly working from the smallest circle, every spin of your head, one circle bigger. Get those circles going as big as they can. And then shift directions. You're starting big now and you're going to roll that spiral back to its center point. Good. Nice. And then just feel that. Let the breath now move from the sit bones to the crown of your head. Drop your hands down. Every inhale, feel the breath go to fingertips. Back to lungs. Feel the breath go down to sit bones. Back to lungs. The breath go to the tip of the head, the crown. Back up to lungs. Now fill that whole space. So as you inhale, feel to fingertips, sit bones, and crown. And down. Big inhale, just a little bit past capacity. Slow release. Steady stream of air leaving the body. Big inhale. Expand into those corners of the body. Exhale slow. Nice. Let the fingers slide down onto the ends of your knees. Allow the spine to round, the chin to tuck. Inhale, lift the chest. Gaze can move up. So if the neck feels fine, head can go backwards, gaze can go up. And then roll forward again, tucking the chin, arching the back. Tall spine, look up. Exhale, roll in. Imagine your warm breath just moving into all the tight corners of your body, allowing it to just dissipate, melt away all of the resistance, rigidity in your body. You're thinking of the same way the warm sunshine melts the ice on the sidewalk. Your warm breath melts that rigidity in your muscles. Nice. Coming back to center. Beautiful. So here, slide your hands around. It's like the thumb is going to hook my waist and my fingers will press into my low back. Roll the shoulders down the back. See if you can almost squeeze your elbows together and then release them. Squeeze the elbows and release them. Yeah. Keep them squeezing, lift your chest. And then let your gaze move up. Let yourself do a tiny back bend. Sit bones press down into the chair. Nice. Keep your breath moving. So don't back bend so much that you can't breathe. And then chin comes back to center. Shoulders roll forward. Release the hands. Good. Palms press back together at your heart. Twist right. Back to center. Twist left. Back to center, yeah. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. You're feeling that nice movement through the spine as you uncoil those tight muscles in the back body. Breathe in, twist to breathe out. Remember not to twist so far that you squeeze the breath out of the body. Follow the twist to the end of the exhale, then let the inhale draw you back to center. Beautiful. Shoulders roll down the back. Yeah, fingers come to the ends of your knees. I'm going to slide my bum right to the edge of the chair. Make sure that my feet feel like knees are over top of toes. So the feet aren't sort of out here or tucked in a little bit. Allow yourself to lean forward. And before you lift your bum off the chair, feel the strength of your legs. Let the feet press into the mat or the floor beneath you. Allow yourself to lean forward. Notice how much your arms want to press into your legs. See how much you can let weight move into the legs instead of into the hands. Pick yourself up and just come to this position to start. Knees bend as generously as you want. Now spend a bit of time here just straightening the spine so that it feels like you're pulling a string from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Lengthening your body into that long, flat back pose. Good. So then you're finding the pose that feels like your hands can press into your legs. The spine is straight. Chin and nose point to the floor. Crown of the head and tailbone pull in opposite directions. And then your next breath in, hands come to sky. Yay. Dropping them down towards your heart. I'm going to stand just in behind your chair. Standing in your Tadasana. Feet hip width apart. Good. So now you're just going to start shaking your hands. Shaking your hands to your elbows all the way to your shoulders. Let your weight sway gently from the right foot to the left foot. Yeah. And then start shaking those arms out this way. If it feels good, you're shaking them above your head. And now I want you to start bouncing in your knees. Bouncing in your knees. Hands could be shaking wherever they're comfortable. Bouncing in those knees. Good. Now take your right hand and just move it to sort of slap the side body. Left hand, right hand. Move up the rib cage so you feel like you're going to just kind of slap everything from the ribs down the waist to the hips. And then we'll go back up to the armpits. Yeah, if you have a rebounder or if your kids have a trampoline, this is so good. Yeah. Okay, so then take your hands and you're just gonna go across the chest as if you're like Tarzan, right? You can tap there. Go down to where the stomach is. Tap there. Nice. And now I'm going to stop bouncing for a second because I'm going to do down the sides of my legs. As far down as you can reach. Come up the insides of your legs. Do your bum and go down the back side of your legs. Do the fronts of your legs as you come back up. Pat the fronts of your hips. Yeah. Nice. Good. Settle that for a second and then start to do just nice big hula hoops. If you notice the soles of your feet are rolling around on the floor, you can enjoy that massage. Change directions. And now that the feet settle on the floor, and notice what other muscles need to sort of help find range of motion when you don't let the feet roll on the floor. Go the other direction, feet still, in stillness. Good. Nice. So bring your hands right down to the ends of your knees now and do those same sorts of circles. Really hard to do that with feet flat, planted, because it asks a lot of our ankle joint. So see how much your feet can be still and your ankles can find the movement. Yeah. Nice. And then come back up. So I've got a bit of an advantage on my hardwood floor for what I'm going to do now. If you're on carpet, you'll just be moving your toes through the carpet. But I want you to take one foot out in front of you and then do like this big D shape. I'm not positive if it will be a backwards D or a regular one. Toes point up, big circle, bring the foot back. Yeah, capital letter D. And let's change legs. Reach the opposite toes forward. Big circle back. Toes come forward. Big circle back. Nice. And then let's do the other side. We're going to take the toes back behind us, go around to the front, slide the foot back. Back behind you, roll the foot around, back. And back. Big breaths. Yeah. We're on the Opposite, last leg, last side. Toes sliding back behind you, big circular motion out to the side. And then bring the feet back together. Good. Sweet. When you go facing the back of your chair now, the hands touch the back of the chair. You walk your feet backwards and you press into that flat as you can be. Now we're trying two things. One is to let the chest fall between the shoulders. You might need to widen how wide your hands are on the chair to let the chest fall down more. And then the second thing is really stretching the low back, which might mean your knees need to bend. Find breath here. Gentle release. Nice lift up. Sink into your stretch. Come back up. Sink in. Come back up. Beauty. And let yourself come back to the chair. Sweet. Roll those shoulders down the back. Just start to notice the increased circulation that you've created in your system. Anytime we get circulation moving, it supports the movement of lymph as well. We're taking a step back with our right foot, pushing the heel into the ground, bending the left knee. Yeah. Take the fingers and start to raise them above the head and then slide them back to touch the chair. If you're finding balance needs extra support today, you'll just raise one hand at a time. If you're finding there's no issues with balance, then you'll take those hands up and slide them back down. You're trying to see if you can move arms but not move rib cage. Rib cage stays stationary. So there's no movement through the back body here. You're trying to see if this could be the hinge. Yeah. Okay, both hands land down. Straighten both legs. Here's the hinge now at the hips. It's as if someone took a rope right across the front of your pelvis and is pulling your hips backwards. And then you can come back up. Feel your whole pelvis tip on the leg bones. As if some little rope here is being pulled backwards. Yeah. Practice that. Practice moving at the hip crease so that the pelvic bones are tipping forward. The tailbone lifts and then the tailbone points to the floor again. You're practicing telling your body you want the movement to come from that place and not from low back. You want to get this movement from this hip socket. Imagine yourself throwing some WD-40 in there. Coming all the way up. Bend into those knees, forward with the right foot, back with the left foot. Nice. Dropping into that front knee. Good. Same thing here. We've got a nice tall spine here, straight from the crown of our head down to the tailbone. As you let arms come up, it's not about moving the spine this time. We're trying to get range of motion in that big joint of where arm bones meet the shoulder sockets. Remember, you can do one arm at a time. Press into the back heel. Reach through the front knee. Breathe in. Breathe out. Working this however it feels right in your own body. Hands come down. Sweet work. Okay, we're changing the joints that we're working on. Now we're moving to hips. Front leg straightens. Imaginary belt is kind of across your hips being pulled behind you, and you're going to fold over that belt and then lift back up again. Picture it below your waist, below the top of your hips, right where the leg bone crease goes into the hips. Yeah. There's your movement. Every inhale, the pelvis tilts, tailbone lifts, and then the tailbone leads back to the floor so the spine comes back to vertical. This will be a pretty big stretch in your front leg for sure, maybe the back calf as well. You're training your body to find a range of motion where it should be able to find it with more ease than your low back. Yeah, just imagine throwing a couple drops of WD-40 into the hip sockets, getting that movement feeling nice. Inhale, come all the way up, bend into your knees and take a step forward. Sweet work. Okay, I'm turning. For me, my right hand and right foot will point to the chair, and I'll take a big step back with my left foot. Okay, hand on hip, right knee bends. So I want my right knee to be stacked right on top of the ankle, so not really far forward and not behind. So find where that is for you. Good. Okay, so this is warrior 2. You can stay here. Hand on chair is fine. Exalted warrior. Well, more extended side angle, I guess. So think about how my wrist goes down to my armpit, hip, and ankle, all along the top side of the body, long straight line. And then sweep all the way around. Hand slides down, choosing if you want this front arm to lift or not. Good, warrior 2. Extended side angle. Warrior 2, here's your exalted. Exalted warrior. Nice. Warrior 2, find your breath. Extended side angle. Warrior 2. Exalted warrior. Find your breath. Where's your inhale? Where's your exhale? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, feel. This is our last one. Exalted and down. Feel the strength that's in that front leg right now. Press into the soles of your feet. Straighten that front leg. Beautiful. Both knees are buoyant, and you can heel step your feet together. And then we'll come to that same set of movements on the other side. For me, it's my left hand, left toes point to the chair, stepping back with my right foot, bending that front knee. You need to find the stance. So you bend your front knee as far as it wants to go. And then wherever that shin can be perpendicular to the floor, that's how you choose where the back leg will go. Okay? Warrior 2. Lovely. Remember, that chair is there for you. Don't need to let the hand leave it. Extended side angle. Warrior 2. Exalted warrior. Warrior 2. Extended side angle. Yeah, so if you never want that hand to leave the chair, it doesn't have to. Breathe. Breathe. Find your inhale and your exhale. We're moving into the side body. This is another part of the body that doesn't get a lot of work in our day-to-day movements. So we like to remind the body how much ability it has to side bend. Yay! Okay, and back to warrior 2. Sweet, hands can rest down. Feel the strength of those legs. Press into the soles of the feet. Straighten the front leg. And then heel step those feet back together. Good. So feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. Lean into each hip socket. You're starting to feel, it's like the whole hip socket we can feel. Where the leg bone goes up. There's the ball, the socket's over top of it, and there's all that nice movement that you can feel in there. Good. Okay, we'll do one more side bend kind of pose. Legs aren't quite as wide apart, so turning my toes towards the chair. Hips, kick, legs stay straight this time, and we do triangle pose. I'm a little teapot pose. Kick those hips to the back. You're thinking of, instead of really rounding forward, you're thinking of everything being in one plane. So if you had a pane of glass pressed up against your back body and a pane of glass pressed up against your front body, how far could those hips kick out to the side without you sort of rolling the shoulder in? Yeah. Breathe. Breathe. Good. Big stretching through the side hips, through the waist, through the back as you twist. Come all the way up. Hands come down. You might be stepping forward, stepping back with the other side. I'm going to move my chair. Good. Hips kick all the way back to that one side. Hand comes down. Keep the chest and top shoulder opening. Choose what you might want to do with that top hand. If it stays on the hip or lifts, breathe. Imagine being in the trash compactor of that Star Wars show, or pressed between two panes of glass, or a piece of toast being dropped into the toaster. Which part of your body is getting a bit of a burn right now? For me, it's my right bum cheek. It's a little bit further behind me more than I want. Press into the feet, come all the way up. Hands come down. Sweet work. Feet can come back together. Nice. Okay, we're gonna move into our twist using the seat of the chair. So I'm gonna turn it so that I can have that seat facing me. You ready? Big inhale, hands to sky. Nice long exhale, palms land on the chair. One hand drops down, it lifts to shoulder height, and then lift back to shoulder height, twist back to shoulder height. If this is too hard, you can do the same movement, hand on the heart, if the shoulder or hand doesn't like it. Be gentle. Think about resting a teacup and saucer on your back hips. Like if there was a teacup and saucer just sitting right here, and I'm trying to move my upper spine. Good. Okay, drop that hand, try the other palm. Goes down, it opens to the side and turns up. If there's any reason at all the shoulder doesn't like this, you can put hand on heart. Think about moving the upper spine, find your breath. Yeah. And drop it down. Okay. With both hands on the chair, bend your knees. Inhale up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale, hands come to the sky. Exhale for that forward fold again. Hands plant. We're going to go back and forth. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. Drop one arm. As that hand lifts to the sky, my opposite knee and hip can bend. Come down. Other hand, breathe in, opposite knee can bend. So now you're bringing it into a bigger body twist. Breathe in, breathe out, twist up, come back, breathe in, breathe out, twist up, come back. Nice. Bend into your knees. Inhale, hands come to sky. Exhale, drop them to your heart. Feet hip width apart. Chair can be close to you for balance, touching, whatever you need. Inhale up. Palms come down. Inhale up. Palms come down. Inhale up. Palms come down. Good work. Feet come back to touch. Shoulders roll down the back, perhaps one hand on chair. Notice as you set the fingers on the chair how much weight you're going to allow into that hand. Keep it as light as is possible and try to resist leaning and putting more weight into that hand. Left foot takes the weight. Right heel starts to peel off the ground. Roll your shoulders down the back. If you hyperextend your knee, try not to lock it. If you don't hyperextend your knee, then it can be as far back as you want. Knee lifts up beside you and opens to the side. You can choose if those toes need to drop back to touch the floor, the ankle, or the calf. You can choose if your hands can leave the chair. Steady gaze. When your eyes move, your balance is harder. Steady breath. Soften those hands down, drop the foot. Sweet. Even your weight out between right leg and left. Right foot finds the mat. Left toes start to curl under as the heel lifts. Knee comes up, opens to the side. Choosing where the foot goes. Calf, ankle, toes on floor, whatever you like. Deciding what your arms might want to do. You could even, whatever feels good. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. Remember that. Yay, hands come down, feet come down. Separate your feet just a little bit. You're going to do a couple of those side to sides as if your hips are in the tracks of a sliding door. Nice work. All right, we're getting ready to move to the floor. So if you know that you're going to stay in your chair for the next part, then feel free to stay there. If you know that you're going to the floor, you're gathering blankets and pillows and what you might need to make sure that you're comfortable on the floor. Remember that often having that little extra blanket underneath the low back or the tailbone can make a really big difference in lying flat and the comfort level. And it's always important to have something underneath your head, because if your head can be lifted a little bit, then your chin won't pop up to the ceiling and give you too much strain through the neck. Breathe. All right. I'm gonna give myself a little bit more. There. All right, and as you move yourself down onto the floor, I'm gonna keep the chair close by for my final rest pose, but for now, just bringing the feet towards the front edge of that chair, keeping them on the floor, and letting myself recline. Take some time to let your back settle and use that extra roll in the blanket or however it works. For me, I would be taking a blanket and putting a roll right in the low back, or taking the blanket, folding it right under the tailbone. Those are the two most common places that people will find relief if lying on the back is not an easy position. Good. Gently draw the right knee into the chest. Let your fingers just rest behind the calf, behind the thigh or over top of the shin. And feel the point and flex in the toe. Drawing that toe back towards you, pointing it away. Allowing the whole back body to just settle into the floor. Roll the foot right. Roll it left. And then take the heel and stretch it up to the ceiling. And I want you to just twist the leg right and left in the hip socket. And then allow that leg to drop. Take a breath, soften the back body. Drawing the opposite knee in, fingers behind the thigh or over the shin. Point and flex the toe. Roll the ankle both ways. Reach that heel up towards the ceiling and start to give yourself a little roll. Nice. And then bring the feet back down to the floor. When feet land back down to the floor, bring your fingertips right to that hip crease. And if you march a little bit, every time your foot leaves the floor, you'll feel that muscle under your fingertips get strong and ropey. It's meant to help you lift your leg. Good. Now put the feet on the floor. Feel that muscle sort of soften a bit, and then start opening and closing. What if I give you a really specific rule that you're only allowed to open and close until that muscle under your fingertips got ropey? Because we want the inner and the outer thighs to do this work. So in your mind's eye, let the muscle that you're touching, the hip flexor, let it rest. Pull the thighs together with the adductor muscles, the inner thighs. Pull them open with the outers, the abductor muscles. And keep the hip flexors soft as you can under the fingers. Okay. The next one, I'm going to give you a couple of options because I know that there's just a variety of different issues in people's bodies. So one would be to just be here and you're going to roll the low back into the floor and then lift it, pressing the tailbone into the floor, massage it back to press the low back down, roll down to press the tailbone down. So you can do that work. Let the hands lift and put them down. So I lift when I roll the low back into the floor, and I put the hands down as I roll the tailbone into the floor. So there's one version. If that feels okay, and there might be more movement available for you today, then you can feel free to lift the hips, hands go behind your head, and then come back down. Remember where your hinge is. It's right at that hip flexor muscle. It's lengthening and opening as hips lift, and it's folding and creasing so that you keep this work out of the low back. Go back. If the low back is achy, go back to just rolling the spine on the floor. And last one. Everything rests down. Good. Take a moment to do some circles with the pelvis, with the low back, rolling that low back around on the floor. Nice. Good. So I'm going to bring both knees into my chest now, cross the ankles. Do those circles one more time with knees rolled as close as I feel like they want to be. You can have the hands over the shins or just hang on to the knees a little bit. And here's where you get to slide the feet. I'm going to pull my chair a bit closer to me. Slide the backs of the calves onto the chair. Unless you're Linda, and then you get to put your feet really nice and high on the heels on the back of the chair. Your chair would have to be tipped the other way. Settling the calves into the chair seat. If you still want to be thinking of getting that movement through the lymph areas of the neck and shoulders and armpits, then open your arms wide like airplane wings. Allow your warm, fluid, smooth breath to expand into your body, reaching into fingertips and toes, reaching into tailbone and crown. Feel everything come back to the lungs and empty on your exhale. Fill and expand on the inhale. Empty and release on the exhale. Keep the warm, fluid breath moving through your body, knowing that even in stillness, sometimes especially in stillness, we give our body more opportunity to move into the areas that need healing. Let a smile come onto your face. Feel the next breath come in through that grin. Exhale. Perhaps exhaling out of a wide open mouth. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Stretch however you need to. And then allow your body to roll over to one side. Pressing back up to seated when you're ready. Yeah. Happy 2021. Namaste.